Okay, so I have just passed out to you 4 pieces of watercolor paper. Watercolor paper is a little different than regular paper. If you feel it, you can tell that it's a lot thicker than regular paper. The back side of your paper will have an X on it. You can write your name. Go ahead and do that now. Next to all 4 X's. Sure do. All right, get your name on next to all 4 of those X's. This is the back side of your watercolor paper. If you feel your watercolor paper, you can tell it's a little bit thicker than regular paper. Regular paper is what they call 50-pound paper. I don't know how they get the weight ratio. I'm not sure how that's decided. But 50-pound paper is regular drawing paper. This is, I think, 180-pound paper. So it is a lot thicker. But it is made to withstand water, right? So if we were to add water to a regular piece of paper, we would have to worry about it going through the paper like getting really soggy, and you could like rub it off. Paper curls up if we use regular paper with paint on it. Watercolor paper is designed not to do that. It absorbs some of the water. It's specifically made to use that. For your project, you are going to have your 4 pieces of paper kind of together, like so. So-ish. And we are going to draw shapes. So we just read about organic shapes and geometric shapes. So you're going to pick whether you want to draw geometric shapes or organic shapes, and you're going to fill your space with those shapes. Now, you can draw all the same shape. So this I have all geometric shapes, and they are all circles. Or you could change it up and have, these are still all geometric, but they're all different geometric shapes. They have lots of different geometric shapes. Or you could do organic shapes. So this one, they're all organic. They're all like a kidney bean sort of shape, but they're all the same. Or you could do your organic shapes, all different organic shapes. Okay? I have also had students ask if, since we have 4, if they could do 2 that were geometric and 2 that were organic. And absolutely, you can totally do that. Just be sure that all the shapes on the paper are the same, so that you're not drawing both types there. Couple things. When we're drawing, we need to think about, first of all, our craftsmanship. So when we draw, if you're doing geometric shapes, you probably want to get a ruler or a compass so that when you're drawing very nice shapes. But you also need to think about your craftsmanship if you are doing organic shapes. We don't want to get sloppy and fast with our shapes. They don't look as nice. Okay, I can still draw organic shapes and take my time, and they will look better because the line quality will be nicer, and you will have more control over what you are drawing because you're taking your time, right? These look better than these because I didn't scribble them as fast. All right, so that's thing number 1 you need to think about. Thing number 2. When we draw our shapes, we want to be sure that we're thinking about the space. So we want to fill our space, and originally you got 1 piece of watercolor paper, and when I did that, the shapes were all pretty big shapes. But when I cut it into 4, all of a sudden everyone wants to draw tiny, teeny, tiny shapes like this. If we draw teeny, teeny, tiny shapes like this, we are going to be coloring them forever. So when you are drawing your shapes, I want you to still think about this as your paper, all 4 of these sheets. So when you're drawing, think about drawing large. Large and in charge. We want to overlap not only each other, but overlap the edges of the paper. That shows that we can use the full space. It tends to make the picture look a little bit better. You don't necessarily have to draw lots of shapes. You just need to have a good few number of spaces that you can color in. It's okay to have a couple little shapes. We just don't want to draw lots and lots of them because they will become difficult for us to color in. Now, I have had some students that when they draw a shape go off the side, they meet it up on the other sides. They had their pictures overlap. You're welcome to do that. I think that looks pretty awesome, and it adds a lot of unity to the piece because it looks like it still goes together even though it's separated into the 4 squares. But that is up to you. Obviously, if you're doing some that are geometric shapes and some that are organic, that probably wouldn't work out for you. Okay, next thing we need to remember about our shapes. Different sizes. Okay, we want a little bit of variance there. We want to use variety. But also, be sure that you draw the entire shape. Okay, even though these overlap, I'm not hiding one shape behind the other. I'm drawing the full shape for both of them. That's going to help our picture when we go to color it in. The other thing we cannot do is we cannot have shapes share a side. So here I have a little square, I have a big square, and they're sharing this side right here. That is a no-no. For our project, it's not going to work. You can have them overlap, but you can't have them share the same edge. It will kind of mess up our color schemes once we go to fill those in. I think that's it. So draw carefully, draw to the whole page, think big, but also have some variety. Draw your whole shape, don't share sides.